Hey, welcome back to another video. Thank you for stopping by. My name's Lena Ann Rose. I mainly talk about, you know, my journey through sobriety and topics that, that is placed on my heart and I want to share with you. So, first thing I wanted to talk about was I was watching a video the other night and a young kid that I watch, he's gained and he's got some momentum going on YouTube right now. And he got on there and he started, talking about the subject started talking about, is AA a cult? And I've heard that over the years, and even when I was going, um, when I would go in and out of church, it was brought up in church that they felt it was a cult, and there's just a bunch of predators in the rooms of AA and NA, and there's a bunch of narcissistic people um, that are in those rooms. But if it's keeping you sober, if going to AA and or NA is keeping you sober and it's working for you, please don't stop. Please don't stop. And there's narcissistic and predators everywhere you go. You run in, they're everywhere. you know, and is AA and NA, is it a revolving door of, people just going in and out, relapsing, coming back, relapsing, coming back? Yeah, it is. That you have your weak groups that you find and you have your strong groups. But if you just keep going, you'll finally probably find a group that's good for you. And if you're a woman, try to find a woman's group, you know? And if you can afford it, bring a couple bucks and drop it in the basket, because that's how they fund the building for people to go into a place where there's no drugs and alcohol. And the years that I was in and out of AA and NA, they kept me sober. There's people that I got close to that went out, and relapsed. um I mentioned in another video, I even had a man, he took his life because he couldn't handle being sober. But it's just part of the journey. You have to find what's right for you, and when you find what's right for you, stick with that, because you know why? It's keeping you sober. It's giving you hope. And if you find a group or you find new friends, that's fellowship. It's strength. It's getting out there. It's wanting to do better and not let whatever's happening to you progress into, liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver. All kinds of things can happen with, drugs and alcohol. It's a carcinogenic. A lot of things can happen to you. DUIs, make your life unmanageable. Or if you're just, looking through videos to see if you actually have a problem with maybe just alcohol. I always say if alcohol is making your life unmanageable, you probably have a problem. But just, when you're out there and you're looking through videos to try to find support, just be careful, because an alcoholic and an addict only needs one excuse to go back out. And that could have been somebody's excuse. That one video with them bashing the rooms of AA and NA. That could have been their one excuse. It could have scared them. They probably wouldn't want to go back, especially if you're young. And well, I don't want to go back to a bunch of narcissistic predators. So, to my fellow people that are out there, trying to spread a good word, just be careful, because if you're on YouTube to try to help other fellow addicts and alcoholics, just be careful what you're saying, because that's a soul you're talking to. That's a person you're talking to, you know? And I just think that, when I get on here, I want to be careful. I want to be mindful. I'm trying to stay sober too. And that's why I started this station. I want to try to help. And maybe sometimes I might get on here and be a little be on the weak side. I might need your guys' help. I might need you to throw some comments down in there, you know? But, today, it was a good day for me. I didn't drink, didn't drug, went to work, came home, and here I am making another video. And another, I wanted to talk about that. I talked about that. I'm done with that. And I watched another video where a guy was pretty much saying that a functioning alcoholic or a high functioning alcoholic is bullshit. Well, I'm here to say no, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. As a matter of fact, a functioning alcoholic, a high functioning alcoholic, is probably one of the most dangerous ones, behind the, second to, the chronic people that drive drunk. And let me tell you about a high functioning alcoholic, because I am one. And I was diagnosed. I had a licensed alcohol counselor tell me that I was. And I had a lot of confirmation along the way, because people said, Lena, I never knew you had a problem. So let me tell you what a high functioning alcoholic is. In my personal experience, a high functioning alcoholic tries their best to look good on the outside. They dress good, keep their house clean, groceries, kids look okay, car isn't all banged up, they have a job. During the time that I was an extremely high function alcoholic, I kept a job for 17 years. But I'll tell you what I did behind the curtains, behind the scenes, when nobody was looking. If I did go out to a bar, I only had maybe maybe four drinks, which is a lot. 4 drinks is a lot, especially if you only hang out for a couple hours, 4 hours, it's a lot. And I would get behind the wheel of the car and I would drive home. But when I got home, it didn't stop there, because I had I had bottles in my sock drawer. I had them up in my closet. I had them, beside my bed. And I would sit and get drunk until I passed out. Now, where it started making my life unmanageable a little bit is about the only time I did call in for work, could have been once a month or so, is because I was really hungover. I just didn't want to go. Because when I woke up hungover after drinking, I would feel sad. I would feel bad for myself. I would be depressed. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I just lounge around, get the kids off to school, and just lounge around in the house all day. And it gave me enough time to kind of recuperate. But by the end of the night, I was probably having 3 or 4 glasses of wine, and I would just go back to bed. Because at that point, I was getting jittery, but it was more my effects of not having alcohol for a whole shift, a whole working shift. I would start getting irritable. I'd start getting a little cranky, a little irritable. a little jumpy, and it got to the point where, because I was in and out of alcohol and in and out of sobriety, it got to the point where I'd buy those little shot bottles. So when I would get off work, before I'd pull out of the parking lot, look over each shoulder, crack that bottle, swig that little bottle down, drive home. I was a smoker. Cigarettes always taste better after that first drink. And that's what I did. And I started doing that. And I did that off and on throughout my alcohol use. Off and on. I only got one DUI. Had a little bit too much. Only got one DUI out of my whole career of drinking. But that is my definition of a functioning alcoholic, a high functioning alcoholic, where you look, you pretty much seem like you have your shit together, and then when I finally that's what put me initially into my first DUI. I had to go to alcohol treatment, 2 years of alcohol treatment, 5-year probationary license. I went to Lakeside Milam in Auburn, Washington, because I'm from the Pacific Northwest. And, and I was in and out of the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous for 7 years. I think that was my longest stretch of sobriety. And it worked for me at the time. AA and NA kept me sober. The times where I was out of my mind and I wanted to drink, I went to a meeting and I didn't drink. And I got support from people in there. And I went home and I was okay. So back to the AA thing again. But I want to be careful what I say on my channel. I don't want to be the reason for anybody to doubt where they're at or what they're doing. I don't want anybody to feel that way. There might be a couple videos where I'm just not really having a good day. I might need your guys' help. I might need you to shoot some stuff down in the comments, but yeah, everybody is entitled to their opinion. But what I really want to get across in this video is that if it's working for you and it's keeping you sober, please keep doing it. Please keep doing it. Because this excessive drinking is going to lead to other problems. Excessive drinking destroys marriages. It destroys, relationships. This time around, I've really wholeheartedly dove into my sobriety, and I have 2 adult daughters that they're finally starting to come around, because I did a lot of damage drinking. And before I go, in conclusion, I have a granddaughter. She's 8 now. But it was last summer, we were in a park, and I don't know what struck up the conversation. I think I had a pop or something, and she asked me, could she have a drink? And I said sure. And she goes, well, sometimes, Nana, you wouldn't let me have a drink of your stuff. You would get upset and say, don't ever drink Nana's drink. Don't ever drink Nana's pop or anything. And I looked at her and I said, well, because Nana used to drink alcohol. And she said, she looked me dead in the face and said, "Oh, that stuff that made you act different. I didn't like when you drank that stuff, Nana, because I didn't like the way you act." And me telling you this in this video may not be like a big deal for you, but that was confirmation for me. That was confirmation. Because she was, man, she's 8 now. So she was from probably the age of 4 until she was 6. Um, she saw me drinking. Poor thing. I don't want her to see me like that anymore. And you know what? I was sober and I was able to take her to quite a few parks last summer. And that makes me feel good. Because my daughters, because I was in and out of drugs and alcohol, my daughters didn't really get a lot of that with me. But I can't, cry over spilt milk. I can't make up for, I can't dwell over that. But when the timing's right with my daughters, I'm able to, say that I'm sorry. I always tell them I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you. Every day I'm going to show you that I can be a sober mama and a sober nana. That's what my grandbaby calls me. She calls me Nana. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and share that with you. And hey, if you're doing something that's keeping you sober, keep doing it. Keep doing it. And if you get a little restless, shift. Find something else. Find something else that'll keep you sober. Just keep moving. Don't get stagnant. Don't isolate. Be creative. Push yourself. And remember, the one who perseveres through the storm is truly blessed. Okay? If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Get my videos out there. And I appreciate you. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.